welcome to Bridge the Atlantic. We are your hosts, music web designer Ross Barber
and singer-songwriter Marcia Novelli.
Joining us today is Maja Schønning, vocalist of Danish hard rock band Forever Still. The band have released 3 EPs to date and are independent in the truest sense of the word. They produce their own records and music videos and do all of their promotion, marketing and tour management by themselves. Just back from a successful UK tour, we're looking forward to getting to know more about Maja and what the band have coming up next. So hey, Maja, how's it going?
Hi, it's going good. How about you?
Good. Let's jump right into it and tell us 3 things about yourself that everyone should know.
Everyone should know that, probably I don't know if they do, but that I'm really hardworking and that I'm really sociable and at the same time I'm a really private person.
Very cool.
And just before...
was that 3 things already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was the
quickest.
Fastest.
Yeah.
That was the quickest one we've ever had. Wow.
I
don't know what to do now.
Lightning round by myself, yeah?
That was so fast. I had to, take a moment and just, woo.
That could be my 4th thing if you want it. I'm fast as hell. You better
there we go. I like it.
Cool. So obviously you're just back from your UK tour. How did you find? Was it your first UK tour or
yeah, it was.
First one?
It was.
Oh wow!
How did you find it?
I mean, amazing. We've wanted to go for some time because we've had a fan base building in the UK, so we've really wanted to go there for a while, and now we got the opportunity finally, and it was really awesome to get to meet people over there because people are saying, come over, and we truly wanted to, and now we finally got to meet everybody, and we've been talking online with people for months and sometimes years, so now we finally got to meet everybody, and that was great.
That's awesome. What's that like, going to a completely different country that you've never been to, and have people know your songs and sing along?
That's awesome. I thought there would be people knowing the songs, but it is really amazing to have them sing in the front row. Sometimes when you do live shows, at least I do make some vocal variations when it's live, just to spice it up a bit. And some people were singing it at the front so loud that I was thinking in my mind, maybe I should change it back to the original because they're just singing over me. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's awesome, though.
It was, yeah.
That's awesome.
And how did you find the difference between playing in Denmark to playing in the UK? Was there a big difference, or was it kind of...
The main difference is people from England are different than people from Denmark. In Denmark, people are a bit more reserved also with telling you when you did a good job, so people, that was kind of cool, that was okay, I was all right, Where English people are a lot more oh yeah, that was awesome, you rock. And I guess England is just a bigger rock country in the sense than Denmark is.
Well, that's interesting. You were going to ask me about that.
we were talking about this just before the show, and I would never normally associate Denmark with rock music. I would more associate maybe Finland and Norway probably, and then maybe other parts of Europe like the Netherlands and Germany. I know they're pretty big on rock and metal kind of stuff.
Industrial too.
Yeah, it's just a much bigger thing. But for Denmark, I tend to associate Denmark with kind of softer music. So do you find that, is there much of a rock scene where you are? You're in Copenhagen, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, the capital. Not much, and you're right. It is definitely a softer music scene. People like that, the soft indie stuff, probably a bit weird, what do you call, lumberjack kind of look, a beard and a
well, that's big out there, eh?
And just casual, we're a bit weird. We have a bit weird name, but you can't care. And then just, of course, easy listening, pop dance-ish music. Rock is the weird middle ground because we do have an underground metal scene. It's a small country, but I feel like we have a metal scene, metal festivals like that. But when you hit the hard rock, it's that middle ground where people don't really know what to do with it, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sucks a bit, but then we can go to the UK and it's cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. So Mikkel from your band's a trained record engineer. He was trained by Fleming Rasmussen.
Yeah, true.
Did I pronounce that right? And he produced One by Metallica.
Oh, wow. I knew I recognized that name.
Yeah. And did he also worked with you on, was it the first EP you did?
Yeah, the Breaking Free EP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How was it working with someone as massively established as him?
honestly not intimidating at all because he's really down to earth and he helped us in the recording process. He was a really cool dude and he had the same mindset that Mikkel and I did, that he just wanted it to be as good as possible. So when people are playing, it's like, yeah, we're probably going to do that one again. And that's how I like Twerk, because I wanted to be as good as possible. So he was really down to earth. He wanted just the best product, and it was a really cool experience.
That's great when there's no ego.
I know, not at all. He's really, and also because, I mean, Mikkel had worked with him for like several years because he was trained by him and they'd worked together. So he was really down to earth. He was very friendly and really like calm and cool.
I know I'd prefer to work with, if there were the case of an ego, I'd prefer to work with a smaller producer with no ego than a larger producer with an ego. But in this case, that just seems like the perfect marriage, you know, someone who's down to earth, and because there was already a rapport there, you know, so that's exciting. That's awesome.
Maybe also when you're like a bigger producer, I am thinking sometimes maybe you don't feel like you have a lot to prove, and maybe that makes you down to earth because you're already there. Yeah.
You know what? You really nailed that. We've mentioned on this show quite a few times. Ross and I, we like name dropping. No, okay. We've gotten a chance to meet certain people at different levels. You know, when you're into music for a long time, and in my personal experience, sometimes the people that are, I hate to say the top, but closer to the top, sometimes are more humble than the people on the uprise. And maybe it's just what you said there. They don't have as much to prove, you know, so they can just be themselves and appreciate what they have, which is, I think you put it in a really cool way.
Yeah, I think so. It can be quite an intimidating business, and there's so many people who want it, be it being a musician, a producer, anything in the music business. So little space, so many people who want to do it. So if you're like on the way up, it might be you might need to like feel like you need to push through and be a bit like mean or cool or whatever.
Which is silly. I mean,
I know.
There's no point in working with people like that, and that word gets around, you know.
Yeah, but I've heard the same thing about bands. Like bigger bands are like usually pretty down to earth, at least like.
Not always, a lot of times. Like surprisingly, you don't expect it, and you're like, "Oh, that was really cool. You were very gracious." Yeah. I like how you put it so simply that they don't have as much to prove. I like that.
Guess so, yeah.
I like that.
Cool. And you guys, you create all your own music videos, you organize your tours, you produce your own records. How do you manage to do everything? Because
I don't even know. I mean, it does take up a lot of time, and that's the main thing I guess I want to say to people, that if you don't want to put a lot of time into it, it's just not the right business for you to be an independent artist, because it's so much work. It's like nonstop. I should sleep more for sure, but I just like when I get started on something, I hate stopping before I'm done. So I hate stuff that's like half finished. So I just want to finish it up, and I'm usually I could do that in a few hours, and you never can, you know.
I'm exactly the same. Like when I get in that creative zone, it's like I'd much rather stay in that zone and finish something rather than stop working because I need a break, which everyone always tells me all the time, because I do. I know I need a break, but but when you're in that creative zone, you want to keep going because you're worried that maybe the next day you might not be in that creative zone anymore, and you're going to really struggle to get going. But I can totally relate to that.
Well, because the energy's flowing, the juices are flowing. You want to just keep that rolling. You don't want to, like you said, you don't want to stop that. You don't want to stop that beautiful flow of creative energy.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is the creative process, and that's so easy to get caught up in, just in a positive way, so it's hard to let go of. But even like we have so much practical stuff, and even that, I have it in the back of my mind all the time if something's not finished, and I'm like, it gets like that. So if you want to go out, no.
I was just going to say that it's kind of bad that we're like that. I think we can all agree with this, but unless it's done, it doesn't feel like you did anything. It's like until it's done, it's not even, there's no half finishing something and feeling like you're accomplished. You got to finish it all.
I've had such a tendency, because we have so much to do, to just like grab onto all kind of different things and work on.
Me as well.
I got this done, and I need to do this and everything, and it really consumes you, and then you're at the end of the day, okay, what did I accomplish?
Oh my gosh, you sound just like me. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I think I think we're all the same.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to start a few different things, but as long as you pick certain things to focus on. That's what I'm working on right now, Try to pick a few things that are important to focus on, because then you can get that done and you feel like it's off your mind and move forward. So would you say organization is an incredibly important part of any creative profession, but particularly if you're an independent artist running things yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you need to. And like I said, I've had a tendency to grab onto so many different things. And I still do that in my mind because I'm thinking, oh, we need to set up this tour, but I need to finish up the cover art for the album. It's just going to be done soon. And oh no, the music video should be out too. And this kind of stuff. I'm
not alone. I'm not alone. Thank you. I don't feel crazy.
You're not. Then we just start working like big lists where we try to prioritize everything. We still need like 72 hours in a day, which there isn't. There should be, of course, but but we've tried to like organize it like that and just focus on important things and just like dig our way down to less important things. So
Marcio and I have been talking about this, about lists, and what I find has been working for me lately is I have one big list, which is like everything I need to do. So it's maybe like, full projects and stuff. And then I'll break it down into a daily list. So I'll say, right, I want to achieve these 3 parts of this bigger thing before I check my email, for example, because email just distracts me from everything for hours. And I've been finding that works. If I try and break my main list down into smaller lists, I find not always, but most of the time I will get more done. And then at the end of the day, at least I can say, yep, I got 4 things done today rather than bits of one thing, Yeah,
that sounds brilliant. Yeah, because I usually like put up the big projects. I'm like, I didn't finish anything today.
Yeah,
that sucks.
exactly.
Yeah, you bring yourself down over it. Like you did finish something. It's just like smaller steps. I sound like I should be better at that.
So I've noticed that you're releasing a trilogy of EPs rather than releasing sort of one album in one go. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit why you take that approach rather than releasing a full album?
I'm interested.
For sure. Yeah, we had a few different reasons for that. One thing is that we wanted to be able to put music out frequently because I feel like often when there's a band I like, they put out this full album and then you discover them and it's like, okay, see you in a few years. Here's a new album in like 2 or maybe in 3 years. And it sucks. It's such a long time for something not happening,
if you're 30 Seconds to Mars, it's every like 4 years. It's some bands are,
I mean, that's pretty like far apart. So I think it's so much better to be able to release. Now we released the Scars EP, and I think it was October or November of last year, something like that, at the end of last year, and we just released the Save Me EP in April. So it's like people can get little pieces, and we're going to release the 3rd part and the full album later this year.
I was going to ask you that, so are you going to eventually put all the EPs into an album?
We are, and we are going to release the 3rd EP with the album, so it can be like people who want the full physical album can get that. People who are just missing that digital part can get that one. So we just, not to stall it anymore, like, 3 parts and whoa, bam, full album with the same thing. So,
Are you including any additional features with the full album that aren't included with all 3 EPs?
No, I don't think we're going to do that, but that's why we'll be releasing the 3rd EP at the same time with the full album. So it will be 4 new songs for the listeners. Yeah. And those who just want the digital ones can just go, I'm just missing the last piece. And those who like the physical ones. Yeah. So we wanted to do it like that to release music frequently and also just to build it up because we wanted to do a concept album. And we thought it would be cool to like release it in parts to put up a different vibe for every EP because you progress as a person. And so we wanted to like make it a bit darker in the beginning, and the 2nd EP is a bit more like hope, but also like that roller coaster of confusion. And then the 3rd one.
for our audio version of the podcast where they can't see your fingers going all twinkly,
they feel it.
What do you mean by that 3rd EP? Is it just atmospheric and beautiful?
It's just going to be, I'm not going to tell you yet. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Will you be changing the track listing, or is it the first 4, like the 1st EP, 2nd EP, 3rd EP, straight down?
It's so funny you're going to ask because we've been discussing this for the last couple of days, and then we finally made it. We have made like track listings and what we wanted to do, and this would make sense like emotionally, dynamically. But then we came to the conclusion it would only be obvious to like keep it in that. Yeah, it would, because we put the EPs out like that. Okay, this is going to be the darker part. This is going to be like the roller coaster that's in the middle of progress from bad to good. It's always like a freaking mess in the middle. And then it really is. And then you can go somewhere else. Yeah. So it would only make sense to do like that. We just realized, it seemed so obvious when we got to that conclusion, but sometimes you just gotta like
track
work
listings are so difficult. I really
know.
struggle with track listings because it's so it's so final, and you really want to give something an ebb and flow, and it's so difficult sometimes. Like
it's even difficult for live situations, I think, and sometimes we feel like this is the perfect like live set. We go out and play it, and like, fuck, it died at this point. Why did it die? It shouldn't have died, and then we need to like fix it. And then when we went to the UK, I could really like sense the energy through the whole show. It's like, yes, we made it. But it could be so, on paper it's so much different, and even if you listen through it, it could be like, then you get out live and it's just a completely different experience.
Yeah,
cool.
totally.
Cool. So you guys must have some funny stories, having been on the road, particularly going out to the UK for the first time. Is there anything that you'd like to share with us?
I mean, our UK tour, people were all really, really nice, so it's going to be like that boring story, but they actually were. I think our biggest like mess of the UK was like, we got there, and in the evening, they were like, okay, so we kind of don't know where you guys are going to sleep. And we thought that was kind of sorted out. So it was like 7 in the evening, and I guess we were playing at 10, and we still didn't know where we could go sleep. It's like, this is a bit messed up, but we worked it all out. Like, you could drive out the city. It's going to be £100 for 2 people, and we were 5. So it's like, that's a lot.
That's when you sneak people in, though. That's when you get one room. You just got to sneak people in. That's it. They're not going to know.
Have friends here.
Someone takes the foot of the bed. Someone takes the top of the bed. You all just cuddle up together.
Yeah. We ended up somewhere one of the nights where some of us were on the floor, but we still had to pay for each person in the room. It's like, this sucks.
I would sneak in.
I'll remember that for next time, because
they're not going to know.
I thought it was a bit screwy as well. Like, it costs the same, but who's going to sleep on the floor?
Really, you should be paying for a room.
Yeah, you should.
It doesn't matter how many people you have in there, you're paying for a room. And if they charge you per person, I think it's a little scammy.
But hey, it was fire safety. So.
Oh, was it? Uh-huh.
Oh, is that what they use?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? Welcome to the UK. It's very typical of the UK.
So what kind of advice would you offer aspiring musicians who want to reach the same level of success that you have with your band?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear. We already discussed it like a bit in the beginning, that hard work is just like, I mean, it's so obvious and everybody says so, but it's like, it's not like fun hard work. It's like, I don't have a life besides my band. I'm like really, really serious about that. And people are like, I work hard. Yeah, but how hard do you really work? Because I feel like people maybe think it's a bit shameful to just want to have a hobby band, but that's totally okay if you just want to have fun and go out and play whenever.
Absolutely, teach their own. Yeah,
cool. But if you really, really like want to make it your way of living, you just need to put in so many hours of work, and not just work, but smart work. I feel like that's been the thing for me, because I worked a lot, and like I said to you guys, sometimes it's like, okay, what did I even do? Because I was everywhere and not somewhere specific. So you need to be so focused. You need to find at least one good work partner you can deal with that shit with, because it sucks if you're the only one who's home every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever night doing that. 24/7 and sleeping 6 hours, and everybody else is just out partying or having fun.
That can't work. No,
that can't work. You need to find somebody who wants it as much as you do, and then just put to work in.
I think the greatest challenge, I'd love to hear you speak on this, is the fact that doing these kind of things does take a lot away from the creative side. You know, when you just want to be the artist and just want to be the musician, writing and creating. How do you deal with that? The fact that the necessary evil is that you're going to be taking time away from that to be able to do the business side of things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I spend most of my time doing the business side of thing. It's very little time I actually spend on making our music, because it doesn't take that long time to write a song. It's just like you sit down for a couple of hours, you make up some vocal melodies, and then you, like, for me at least, perfect the lyrics over time. And I work with Mikkel, who works out the instrumentals for that. And that part itself doesn't take a lot of time. The whole production around it, of course, does. But it's the same. I mean, the main time I use in the band is like really practical time, like doing like a lot of online work, speaking to our fans, booking stuff. At least like you said, emails, you don't want to do it until like the end of the day, and that's, I mean, I spend a lot of time just communicating with people because there's so much to to be done like that. So the whole practical thing is the biggest thing, like the major thing. I would love to have more time to just perfect my vocals and learn how to play better piano or stuff like that, but I just don't have that.
Well, do you think you'll eventually start delegating that out? Because it's as you grow as an artist, you need to start delegating that out because you just don't have as much time.
Yeah, hopefully. We're not so like set on being independent. That's the only thing we want to do.
Exactly. It's necessary now. That's why, right?
It's necessary now. And I like to be, of course, I like to be in charge of the creative process with Megal, because we're able to visualize our music and able to like make everything come together so magically that I'm not sure everybody else can do. But if I find somebody who does amazing music videos and get my vision for that, I'll of course be willing to work with them. And if somebody could take the booking part, that would be cool. I could deal with that. I could deal with that and spend a bit more time on something that's important to me, because it's not important that I book the show. I mean, I don't take a special pride in that, but I do care a lot about that our cover art and our videos represent our music and
the artistic side of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one other thing that I really want to ask you. Being a female vocalist in a rock band, in a heavy rock band, you must have faced some sort of challenges. Anything that you'd like to talk about with that? Maybe something that you'd like to tell other girls who want to be in rock bands, that this shouldn't even be an issue. This shouldn't be something to talk about, but it's not as common as it should be, right? So, anything that you'd like to shine, any light you'd like to shine on that issue? Yeah,
because you're right. It's fun. And just when we play live, most people come up to me afterwards like, oh, you're the one screaming. I never knew it was a chick. It's like, why? Because, I mean, it's pretty gender neutral to scream.
Absolutely. We all like to scream.
Do it. Yeah. And like you said, there's just not a lot of women in rock. So I do think that younger girls are not really, visualizing or experiencing that you can actually do that you have to do something else because they're not there. And it can be sometimes, it has been, at least I think England was pretty good with that, but Denmark could be like a little bit like, oh, you're playing a chick band with the guys and stuff like that. Yeah, and afterwards, after the show, oh, that was pretty cool, man. It's like,
well,
so
you're opening minds.
You want to have a beer or stuff like that. It's like, people see it for something different, at least in some parts of the world. And here we've experienced that stigma that is, oh, it's just like whatever Within Temptation, Nightwish, like some pretty soprano chick just standing in front of the band.
It's so stupid because that's what irritates me, because it's not as common, people automatically want to compare it to that, whereas you don't hear, I mean everyone always wants to compare bands to somebody, which is kind of annoying.
Of course, yeah.
It's immediately it's only the comparison because it's a female vocalist, not because it's maybe similar sound or anything like that.
I know, and I feel like I could find like quite a lot of bands that we sound more like than Nightwish. I feel like we're pretty far away from symphonic metal. It's not even our genre.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty far away from that. But people, at least here, don't know any female-fronted bands. Like recently, for the first time in Denmark, we were compared to Flyleaf, and that's the first time ever I've heard that, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and before that, the only thing I've heard is the very stereotypical Nightwish, Evanescence, Within Temptation, sometimes Lacuna Coil, and that's the box.
I don't hear that. Well, I see the box, female vocalist.
That's the box, and that's the box people put in, like, at least here, that's all the time. And when we get out of the country, it's like, oh, there's some in this moment thing, there is some 3 Days Grace, there is some Linkin Park, people, like, mix a lot more. Here it's, like, very
I heard a little bit of old school Edema in there too. Like, I don't know if you ever listened to them.
Sweet.
I heard. I mean, I hate to even compare because I'm an artist myself, and it's like you're doing your own thing. But I heard a lot of different influences. Something else I want to say too, before I even say this, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with sexuality and everything. For example, I think that the media should be much more concerned about violence in movies and in the media than any sexuality. But I do find that a lot of times, anytime a girl's in a band or there's a female singer, it's automatically almost expected that they have to be sexualized. You know what I mean? Again, there's nothing wrong with that. If the artist wants to do that, no problem with it. It's just not as much pressure on men to do that. You know what I mean?
I agree, because I see that every day. Every time I find a new female-fronted band, like Let's Talk Rock now, I think like 80% or 90% of the time, they practically dressed in their underwear. And I'm like, I don't know if it's their way of expressing themselves,
which is great.
Is like completely fine
Absolutely,
with me.
yeah.
Or is it some sort of pressure, like you need to be pretty? Is the band pressuring them? Is somebody else pressuring them? Or is it just like the society saying, okay, you're a chick, so you need to be pretty. You need to do this and that. And it's at the back of your head. I mean, when I was a lot younger and more insecure, I was like, okay, I can pop my boobs out, then people will think I'm pretty and stuff like that. And I just think a lot of it lies in insecurity and a way we're led to believe that this is how you're supposed to do to get attention. And everybody says, like with music, sex sells, and it does. And I feel like there's if you do it for your own sake and just for you, perfect. But I feel like the pressure side of it is really, really bad. Maybe you should take some more clothes off. I mean, it would sell your music.
If you wanted to do that, do what you want to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But just the fact that I'm not going to do that, I'm comfortable the way I do my stuff. But just the fact I've run into it, I've had people talk to me about that maybe that would be a good idea. It's
because
just a fact. I think it's because I'm a female. I think
so
it's
funny. I'm an artist as well, right? And I would just assume that would not be something said to me. It would be said to me, maybe you should do this. Maybe you got to grab people's attention like this or like that. But I can assume the first thing said to you is take clothes off.
Yeah,
that's not the first thing said to a man.
I mean, if it's guys taking clothes off, it's going to be like that Blink 182 thing, like we're all naked on the street running around like idiots,
like
you know?
Funny, yeah, or something really silly, yeah.
Yeah, I know, something like that. So.
Oh, I very interesting. I love getting your perspective on that. And now to completely change things around and do a 180 on that. Are you ready for 20 questions?
Oh shit! Yeah, I guess I am. I have to be, right? I'm still not a lightning person because
it's okay.
It's okay. Just answer with the first thing that comes to your mind.
This is probably going to be more difficult for us because we have some Danish words to pronounce coming up.
Okay, but I'm nervous too because I feel like every time people ask me something, I have like a lot of opinions and not just one. So I'm a bit nervous too.
That's okay. Okay, I'm going to start off. Right? Coffee or tea?
Both. You see?
Yeah,
this is my problem.
That's okay.
Both, yeah.
Meat or veggies?
Veggies.
Good. CD or vinyl?
CD. Come on.
Twitter or Facebook?
Twitter, because Facebook, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Canada or Scotland?
Uh-oh. Oh, no! I see this one. I haven't been in any places. Scotland is a lot of rain. I'm not too fond of rain. Canada.
Well, we have very cold winters, but we have very hot summers. At least I'm in southern Canada, so.
Oh God. Okay.
That's weird. You guys have weird letters, man.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say it really slow, right? Egapendekage or frikadeller?
What was
does that mean anything?
Okay, the thing that looks like an A and an E in one letter. What is that? A and an E. Egg and pandakage or frikadeller.
What? I'm needing. I'm missing like. Okay, egg what?
Egg pandekage, I think.
Are you trying to say egg pancake?
Yes, that's it. Yes, that's
not a fucking word, but I know what you mean. But that's a weird translation.
Okay, what's frikadeller?
Is that like an omelette?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, it's called egg cake. Like egg cake. Egg cake.
I don't get where that happens. Okay, so which one?
Egg cake, since I'm vegetarian.
Oh, I'm vegan. Awesome. High five. That's cool. Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Nirvana.
Breaking Bad or House of Cards?
No TV.
No TV.
You don't watch Netflix or anything on the internet?
That basic. No. I have YouTube when I'm eating.
Wow. Indie or major?
I'm gonna go with indie most of the way, but both can be cool.
Mm-hmm.
9 Inch Nails or Deftones?
Oh, two good ones. I freaking love them. 9 Inch Nails.
Good choice. Best live band I've ever seen.
But yeah, they're fucking cool. But I love them both. Really.
Before
good
I
bands.
say these two bands, Ross did these 20 questions, so don't get upset that these are two bands that we're asking. Evanescence, I'm sorry, or Within Temptation, I'm sorry.
Evanescence because of the emotion.
Well, now we know you don't have a TV. This question is going to be difficult, but you might have an opinion on Friends or Seinfeld.
Friends.
Celine Dion or Marilyn Manson?
I've actually grown up with Celine Dion my whole life. My mother loves her. Yeah.
So did I, and I love how that is unexpected. I love Manson too, though. I love Manson.
Manson is for sure my favorite. I kind of hate Celine Dion because it's been the only thing that pumped into my head my entire childhood, but I know her French songs by heart.
No kidding. Eh?
Yeah.
No, this is another one that I'm not going to be able to pronounce. It's just great that I got both of these.
I actually calculated that.
Did you?
I said I was going to start off. I'm like,
I
want Ross to do it. No.
Oh, you're such a dick.
Okay.
Gameldansk or Glögg?
Glögg.
I think you did a good job on that,
I think
Ross.
I did.
It's perfect.
They were easier, though.
Wow.
Gameldansk is really freaking nasty.
And I've heard that's a breakfast drink, right?
No, more lunch.
Lunch?
I've never had people eat it for lunch with their herring and stuff like that. Their smørrebrød.
Oh. Gross. Michael Jackson or Michael Bolton?
I don't know who Michael Bolton is, and I'm probably gonna get stabbed for this. But
no, I hope you're not stabbed over it.
Who knows?
That would be a very extreme.
Stabbed. You know it.
No, that would be a very extreme reaction from Michael Bolton's fans. I'm pretty sure most of Michael Bolton's fans are in their 50s and 60s, and they're, they're not going to be. They're not the stabbing.
So they're not stabbing me on the internet because the internet is mean. I mean.
It would be very mean to get stabbed, yes. Let's move on from that.
I felt stabbed on the internet a couple of times. Just recently, we posted a photo from the UK, really cool. Yeah. And then the guy was like, why do you look like such an emotional breakdown attention whore when you say...
Fuck him. Fuck that.
Why
Seriously?
You're not even a fan of the band. Do you just go around and troll
honestly,
people?
People do that.
It's so important to just ignore that crap. Honestly,
you learned that early on. I mean, the amount of time I've read, just for me personally, women and metal doesn't go together. Just get out of here, kind of stuff. To read about the new Nightwish singer Floor Jansen, she had an interview, and all the comments below, 90% was oh, go make me a sandwich, bitch, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the internet, though. I mean,
that just makes me mad, and it's not even about me. It's
no, exactly. I think the best thing, as human beings, we always just tend to focus on the negative. It's so important to just really train ourselves to just focus on that positive and just let that negative float. Fuck it, we don't need it. They're the ones unhappy. You're the one doing. You're the one. You're the one living your dream, and they're not. So remember that.
I mean, you have to let go of stuff like that.
Absolutely.
If you're chosen to front a band, you're gonna get all the good and all the bad. We also at a live show in the UK, it was a mess because the guitar strap fell off and everything and I had a small crack on one note. And what did the people notice afterwards? Oh, so your voice cracked.
Oh. God.
Are you shitting me?
99% of it was right on that one. We're human. We're not auto-tuned,
Show. It's 40 minutes of a great show. One crack on a note, and everything else breaks apart. But who gets it?
But I get the
grace as well. I mean,
that's the people who want to see other people fail, and those are the people that go nowhere in life. So
it was this one was a really nice person, but you just notice. You get get bad stuff. You get all the praise. That's the curse of the lead singer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Twerk or work? I think you're going to say work.
Yeah, I should. I found a t-shirt saying just ban twerking, and that should be a thing.
Ricky Gervais or Ricky Martin?
You tell me names I don't know, and to avoid internet stabbing, no Rickies in my life.
Okay, we'll carry on.
Whale or kale?
Whale or kale?
We don't really
Whale or kale?
I mean, I really like kale, but we don't do it in Denmark at all. I've only had it in the States.
I have kale every day of my life.
I can imagine. It tastes like amazing. I've had it in Los Angeles a couple of times and it was great. But we don't have it here. It's probably going to come like the new fashion in a year or two.
Hopefully.
It's going to be, kale, guys.
Yeah, I add it to every smoothie.
Yogurt recently. Like, guys, this is like the major thing.
I'm sorry. And
we're so slow. Everything like, okay, America.
Well, yeah, even like what you're saying about girls and metal, that sounds like what people were like when I was like 15 years old. Like people have grown up past that mentality for the most part around here. So hopefully everyone over there starts growing up fast too. So, Bette Midler or the Riddler?
Nope.
Not the Riddler. How about the Joker?
Yeah.
Jared Leto's playing the new Joker.
But I didn't. Yeah,
we all love Jared Leto.
We do.
The
first one is like one of two. I was like, okay, I know one and I don't know one.
Who do you know? And
this is why I'm afraid of lightning rounds.
It's okay. Ross did a terrible job today. He should have got more Denmark people.
I know. I was
teasing you, buddy.
He did the Gammeldansken Glück really, really well.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final question, which is the most important one.
Oh, no, I hope I don't fuck it up.
No, don't fuck it up.
So it's Ross or Marcio?
Guys, why are you doing this to me? Rossio?
Okay, we'll accept it.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Perfect.
We'll take it.
Nail it.
So what have you been listening to lately? Do you have any music recommendations for...
not a band you don't know, I suppose. Music recommendation, what have I been listening to lately? I've been listening to Chevelle. I've been listening to some Nine Inch Nails. I mean... because I didn't really listen that much to Hesitation Marks, but I thought it was worth giving it a few shots again.
Yeah, I listened to it more after I saw them do the tour with that album. It kind of reignited my interest in it, and I really like it. It's still not my favorite. I think The Fragile is still my favorite Nine Inch Nails record.
Yeah, you got it.
But yeah, it was Nine Inch Nails live is so good.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're so awesome. But I listened to the new album like before going and seeing them live because I love being able to like at least know the songs like somewhat, you know?
Well, speaking of awesome music, where can people find you guys online?
I feel like the easiest thing is to go to foreverstill.dk because we have a top banner like Facebook and Twitter and Bandcamp and every kind of thing there.
Awesome. And you personally? Can people find you personally online?
Yeah. I'm Maja Schønning on Twitter and Maja Schønning on Instagram and that Forever Still chick on Facebook.
Oh, I like that. Cool.
I changed it at some point and they say, just notice you can't change it back. And I just pressed my enter button. I was like,
For what? Twitter?
No, Facebook. It's like, or something like
you can still appeal it, but yeah.
I feel like it was kind of funny, and it's still funny.
Very cool. And if anyone wants to, this is where we promote ourselves.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to hear what I've been up to musically, check out marcionovelli.com. It's also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's Marcio Novelli. And Ross?
Yeah, if you want to find out about what I do, you'll find my website, electrickiwi.co.uk, and I'm Electric Kiwi on Twitter, and I pretty much live there, so tweet me anytime, and I will probably respond.
All right, hey, okay, so thank you so much for coming on, and we will, I don't know, I'm fucking up today, right?
It's okay, we'll probably end up fading it just before all this.
Thanks for watching Bridge the Atlantic. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe so that you don't miss each week's episode.
Click on the videos above us if you'd like to see more, and please feel free to leave us a comment letting us know what you think of the show.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to us on iTunes so that you can listen to us on the go. Thanks again for being awesome, and we'll see you on next week's episode.